Hello everybody, my name is Takriva and welcome back to Brazil. Yeah. So this is Civilization 5 Brave New World new expansion just came out, my first let's play of it. So let's get back to it. We're still on turn 15, but there's nothing much to do now, so we'll just go to the next turn and we'll see what happens next. So our warrior is it's hurt, so we should heal it up, but we're going to put it on a hill first. Hey, and we found a natural wonder. Basically, it's a wonder that's out in the world. It cannot be changed by workers like any other tile, but it will give happiness because I've discovered it, and if it would be worked, it would give 2 hammers and 3 gold. So, but we're probably going to heal up our warrior. Now it's over there, and our scout now can move to this position and check our east for more goody huts. Or other civilizations, you might never know. So now we've just finished our monument, and up here you can see that our culture income has gone up by 2, so it's now 3 per turn. So we'll put our warrior on healing, and we're going to check here. Now we see some desert here with floodplains, which would be decent, but it worries me that Arabia might actually be to our east and not to our west. And because of the way that the Dutch might play, and it's already expanding north through the stones, we will get a settler out ASAP. So yeah. In the beginning of a Civ game, it's usually exploration that's the key to playing it, and as we can see, there's even more desert here, but still no Arabia, so I'm not too worried about this specific city location, but finding a goody hut soon might actually be nice. And now we've gotten enough culture, and as I say, finding a goody hut is nice. We find a goody hut, so that will be ours next turn. And now we don't really need culture anymore. Now it would be nice to get a faith pop so we can get our first free pantheon, because we're going for the settler first. Then again, we're going to adopt liberty so we get even faster culture per turn. We'll be at 4, which is where we would be if we'd gotten tradition first as well. But tradition would give you a free monument with legalism, so it would go up to 6 at the second culture pop. But for now, this is going to be fine. We want to get a settler pretty soon, but we also want a worker for free. So we are not sure what we want. Then again, the production will mean our first settler will come out sooner. Oh, it's so much to think about. It's these little things in the beginning really decide how successful you should become. Of course, you still have a lot of leniency when it comes to what you actually do decide to do, but then again, it's going to be that much more fun. Now, our next policy pop will be in 8 turns, so by then our settler will not be done yet, but when looking at the city, changing it now from... if we now were to get 1 more production, we would not even shave off 1 turn off of building a settler. Actually, because of an unemployed citizen also giving +1 production, it's not as useful. The thing is, building a settler actually also uses food, and now we have to reset the tiles because when you change it yourself, it will lock that one in place. So, because of the way settler building works, it will... we cannot build it faster by getting the +1 hammer, so we will go for the worker so we can actually start on getting our next improvement. And so we might have to go for mining next so we can build a mine there, because calendar will be too slow. Overthinking things. Let's just skip to the next turn. But when we grow in 4 turns, we will actually get more food from the citrus, because 3 food and 1 gold is still better than 2 food, that's what it's currently getting. So what? Okay, we just got another person in the city. Doesn't change the speed at which the settler is built, but it will really make a difference in the long run to already be up at 4 citizens. So yeah, it means right because of the city is not yet improved as much. It's not a big difference because every population uses 2 food and it only got 2 food bonus. But once we actually can upgrade our tiles with a worker, it will get better. And here is the I think this is the warrior we were fighting before down here. But yeah, we'll explore more with our scout. And this might have been one full mountain range, but it's not, so that's lucky. So actually in 6 turns we have our first worker, and in 6 turns we can have mining, or in 10 turns we'll have calendar. Now we're going to go for mining first, so we can chop this forest as well. And we might be able to get that forest chopped down before... Yeah, he says that he is something that might be of interest to me. That's literally what he just said. And he wants us to exchange embassies because I have writing, he is writing too. And usually what you want to do in the beginning is actually give your embassy for their money. So any deal you would suggest would result in an unfair. Usually they would say, oh, okay, so apparently they didn't want to change it themselves. But when you put it to 1, they will accept it. With 2, they usually won't. So we'll put it to 1, they accept it. And now I get 30 gold spread over 30 turns. One embassy is usually worth 25 gold to any civ. Well, any AI civ at least. Players probably not when you play multiplayer, but this is... oh, there's more coast to our east, which means that we might be able to block the Netherlands from going north, regardless. And an unknown civilization has gotten a pantheon. So the first civ has probably built a shrine. If it was a civ that started with a lot of faith, they would have actually gotten more of it. Unless piety was changed to actually... Adopting piety allows you to build shrines and temples in half the usual time. So they might have adopted piety and built a shrine pretty fast. But that's probably not the case. I'm not sure what it will be. And because we don't have a worker, there's no danger to this barbarian. And he will be destroyed if he were to attack the city. Which I've actually never seen a barbarian do in this game. At least in Civ 5. In Civ 4 they would roam into your city and just attack your city at will. Yeah, our warrior is finally done healing, so he can help exploring again. And now our city will kill off this last warrior. And our settler is still at the same speed, but we are getting 1 more food than we would from one of these 2 tiles. But more importantly, we're getting more gold. And gold will be quite important in civilization. It's always been very important, but it's even more important now with trade routes and a gold drought. Because usually coastal cities were a free source of gold, and they're not anymore. And to smile the most, it simply means who has the best happiness, and I'm at the bottom with 4. And that's basically because the AI gets a bigger bonus at the king level than the player does. So, and this is not nice. Hello, Alexander. One of the most annoying AIs in Civilization 5. In Civ 3 and 4, the Aztecs have always been a ginormous pain in the butt. But Alexander is pretty damn annoying as well when it comes to Civ 5. He's quite aggressive and he goes after city-states pretty damn hard. But yeah, it's 10 turns until our settler. It's 1 turn until we have mining and a free worker from our culture. Oh, and that would be a city-state. So what we're going to do now is bring our warrior back so we can protect our first settler. Maybe even go to this place and scout if no one really wants to take that. Now what you see here is the border of a city-state. And I'm not sure. We've taken Continents Plus, which makes city-states usually spawn on islands off the coast of the main continents. Same with Pangea, it will have island ranges where...
but not its mineral rights.
where the cities will spawn, but in a regular Continents game they would be like over here. There would be one, and they would be more annoying. And this basically allows you as a player and also the AI to expand a bit more, well, without really weird borders. So we have discovered mining, and we're gonna should go for calendar right now. Yeah, we're going for calendar so we can pick up the wine. After calendar we should go for bronze working so we can pick up the citrus, and because happiness will be important. So we are going to get our free worker as well as worker speed. Basically, not only do you get a free worker, your workers are faster as well. So, and next turn. Now, our scout is going to keep exploring towards the northeast. I don't expect a lot. There might be, it's probably going to be the end of the continent, and if you just heard some weird noises, it was me adjusting my headphones a little bit. And we're going to chop down a forest. It takes 3 turns and gives 20 production to the city, which means that our settler will actually be done in 3 turns or 4 depending on when it turns over. So that's the power of chopping down a forest. And the other reason why our warriors going here is to make sure there's no barbarian stealing our settlers suddenly. They come out of the fog of war and they simply just start being quite annoying bastards to you. Okay, and another barbarian camp, which usually means there's no one directly there. So this is good, and once we actually get our settler city built, we'll go up to 5 culture per turn, which is also pretty damn nice. So what we're going to do now is put him on alert, that if there is a barbarian nearby, it will automatically wake my warrior. And apparently we did not get to scout this city-state yet, which is a shame. But we'll make sure to pop Y at one point. Now our settler is already done, which is great. And we're going to get it over here. So in 2 turns it will be here. So this means that our warrior will actually move here just to escort it and be extremely safe. It's pretty important for me that this will go right. So now we're going to build a mine which will increase the production of this hill from 2 to 3. And we need the production in our main city. And we actually do want to build something new. We cannot build a caravan yet because we haven't seen any other cities. We actually need to know that Amsterdam is here. We need to see it there before we can actually build a caravan to trade with Amsterdam, and the same with over here. But since we do not have to necessarily build another worker or settler, we can simply go for a shrine next, which will give us a slow trickle towards our own pantheon, while it's quite expensive to get one. So a pantheon will be, no, actually a pantheon is a given really for any civ, but the problem is actually founding a religion. There are 13 civilizations on this map, yet only 6 religions can be founded by any civ together. And this might be an interesting position. It depends on what the barbarian will do, but it is the end of the continent, so this will be free expansion for me. And now we're kind of locked in between these 2 barbarians. They will oh, it's actually, it's not that often that a barbarian inside a camp will jump out. So what we're gonna do is heal him with 1 fortify and see what happens next. And Harun al-Rashid wants to do a declaration of friendship, and I'm fine with that. It means for now at least that he won't really go against me. And now that barbarian actually does attack. The advantage of these barbarians is they don't attack, they don't heal up. But now what we are gonna have to do is actually while I would love to get scouting or survivalism on this scout, he can only move to one of these squares, so he will die if we do that. So we'll have to heal him to keep him alive. and move him away from this barbarian. It's sad, but it's necessary, and we're almost coming up on 200 gold, which might mean that we are gonna buy another warrior. And our settler has arrived, so we're going to found a great city, the city of Sao Paulo, one of the biggest cities in the world when it comes to population. It also, okay, it needed to finish the animation of building a city. It also, as it stands, it just focuses on the food from the cow, so it gets a lot of extra food. It doesn't have any production on its own, but improving the cows, the horses, the stone and marble will give it the production we need in the beginning, and on top of that it does have the ability to get some mines in the future. But we will need a monument in the city, and buying that would be 280, and we don't have that much money, sadly. So we build a monument in Sao Paulo. And if we had gone for tradition, just as a comparison, we would now be at 8 culture per turn. So that would have been a bit faster, but it's only faster in the early beginning. So now we're going to use this warrior to scout to the east, because we might want to cut off our Dutch friends to the south from actually expanding that way. And if they hadn't discovered me or that territory, they might not even know that Sao Paulo is there yet, which will be beneficial and not really give us a penalty in relationship. And they do. The Dutch already don't like us because we settled there, but we are actually gaining on some of the computer players, which is good in itself. No one has been here, so we find another goodie hut. Let's see, our worker is done, and we need 1 turn for calendar, so we'll just move it onto the wine and let it just hang around for a turn. And we're still not using the mine for production, but we get 4 food per turn, which lets us grow quite quickly. So that's the benefit of getting those free population from the ruins at the beginning. So the city is balanced out by now, I think. And Alexander, I'm not sure I want you to know where my capital is. Then again, I don't want to spend 1 gold per turn to see where yours is. This is a conundrum. You know what, for now we are going to give it a try. They're not willing to offer you enough to make this a fair deal, but with 1 they will do that. So 1 gold will actually make them happy enough to trade. So now he does know where my capital is. I will find his in due time. Okay, so now we know. Again, what we've seen here to the north is that we got sandwiched in between 2 warriors, but for now we're going to go on this hill, so this warrior to the south might attack us, but we're not attacked. But this one in the camp will not help him out. And this way also we have a zone of control over the barbarian, and which is what screwed us over up here with our scout. What a zone of control basically means is that the area next to an enemy unit cannot, when your unit is next to them, they can only move 1 square along them. They can move in and out of their zone of control basically, but they cannot stick around and move past them. And this warrior can only move to these squares next turn, or it can attack us, which is quite good. And since we're done with our worker here, we're going to build our plantation, and which gives us even more gold per turn, and we're now at +6. So we really want to start getting the citrus as well, because our happiness is dwindling. And that's the downside of fast expansion at the beginning. You will want to get your happiness up. So you want to look for more diversity in resources. And up here is furs, so we will definitely go to the northeast as well as to the north where the copper is. So when it comes to resource diversity, we should, by the time we're done, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different happiness resources, And by the time we actually have expanded that far, we should also be able to build happiness buildings. So for now, we do want to get the citrus, and that means we have to pick up bronze working. And after that, we might look at pyramids, which gives us 2 more free workers, which means we don't have to build any workers for the foreseeable future. And it also gives another 25% construction speed to the workers. So we might pick that up as well. And we need masonry to build a quarry here on the marble. Now there are a lot of stuff we want to pick up going for a culture victory. We will definitely want to pick up sailing to get an additional trade route and the cargo ship. But we also want to go for philosophy quite quickly because of the oracle, which gives us a free social policy, which makes our increase in culture even faster, because through policies you get a lot of increase in that sense. On the other hand, we also want to build the Parthenon, which gives us +4 culture and a great work of art, which would be extremely well as the Writers Guild. We want to get this building out as early as possible to get more writers, so to get great person points and to get writers, which give us more great writers, and great writers give us works of writing. So we're first going to go for bronze working, then probably masonry. Might have to look again, but bronze working is first. And yeah, so we have Sao Paulo. We should so building that city gave us a +5 in the cost for social policies. The next 2 will be Republic for more production, and after that it will be collective rule for faster settler building in Rio, as well as a free settler just right there. And that free settler will go to the north, so then we have a 3-city Brazil. And as Brazil, we do want some people. So now we see that the warrior has gone to the marble, and it hasn't attacked me, so I will attack them. I'm not afraid that any other barbarian will attack, because we can only see one over here, and they can only move 2 spaces. And because of zone of control, I cannot run past him to get to the ruins, for instance. So I'm just gonna attack him, and going the other way, I lose movement by going into a forest. And yeah, now our scout is healed, but we're being from all sides taken by the barbarians. So we are going to run towards the ruins. We have enough health to survive 2 barbarian attacks, which we might get this turn. Actually none at all, so that's pretty good. And we're still gonna attack this warrior once more, so we get close to level 3. Now we're picking up this, and this is the second worst pop you can get from a ruin. Discovering a map, and it's even worse than usual because you actually only get to see water with this particular pop. So we're moving away from the barbarians, so the AI doesn't see me, so it might not know I'm there anymore. It probably still does be, but yeah. Okay, now we have to we're gonna fortify on that spot, and we still can't see up here, which this is another city-state, but we cannot see them. But both Sao Paulo and Rio have grown, which has turned us over into unhappiness. And they did a small change here for balance issues, because going into up to 9 unhappiness actually didn't matter before, because you would only I think it was 9, it might have been 4, but just dipping into unhappiness would slow down just the growth of the cities, but now it also slows down gold and production the more unhappy you get, and the same penalty applies to combat. So what we would like to do is run for a great library, yet the problem is we don't get that much production in this city. So we might just what we're gonna do is build a second warrior just for security's sake, and we might lose one of our other 2 units pretty soon to all these freaking barbarians roaming around. So we're just going to play it safe, And we finished our wine anyway, so the happiness is back up to 3. Every person that joins your, that grows into your cities will add 1 unhappiness, unless it's different because of whatever social policy or ability. For instance, Gandhi gets double the angriness because of the amount of cities you have, but only half from population. So Gandhi, I think it's Gandhi, is actually stronger if you have a few cities that grow very big. And because we can retreat here, we're going to do drill 2, which makes him very defensible in forest, and pull him 1 back. And here we can actually escape, and only 1 warrior could attack us this turn. So with 3 turns to do bronze working, but it's also costs us 3 turns to actually get to one of the citrus. So we're just gonna walk over there and get rid of the jungle and build another plantation. And now we should get another culture pop, and as expected, these barbarians attack our scout. So yeah, so we're going to simply skip his turn instead of fortify to heal, because we might want to move him next turn or something. So it's a bit safer. You still get the heal, but you don't get the fortify bonus at that point. And as said before, we're going down Republic to pick up collective rule for a free settler, and the training of settlers increases as well. And as you could see there, because of the reason Venice cannot build settlers, it gets a free Merchant of Venice for picking up collective rule, which still makes them able to expand for free once out of Venice itself by picking up a city-state. And my tip for if you choose to play Venice, do not pick one of the plus maps, because the city-states will be on islands and will never really become powerful because of they won't have the resources to do that. Okay, now we're being cornered, but this is actually a bay, which is quite interesting. I like bays. I like to settle them. It's just for fun. But then this marshland would be an ideal place for a Dutch city. But as we're not playing the Dutch, I don't really care one way or the other right now. And we're still we're at the front of the middle of the pack right now when it comes to score. But we are not that far behind of the computer, so I'm not worried at all. And we're gonna stick you around once more, start building a plantation, and our scout. Now, he's probably going to be dead unless we're extremely lucky. So right now we don't get any defensive bonuses here, but we do heal up 10 this turn if we stick him there. And we just finished bronze working, and I think it is... We'll pick up masonry and then we'll go towards philosophy, I think it is. Or no, drama and poetry, so we can get the Parthenon. And the Parthenon will be our first wonder. Okay, we're now at 64 hit points. If we attack, we would lose only... we would actually only lose about 22, but it's the only warrior we would be able to attack back. So we'll just take it so that warrior is red and we'll start retreating. And apparently this warrior decides to move, so we get the hell out of there with our scout, and we're lucky there's no new barbarian behind this. Yeah. So I'm gonna wrap up this video by giving you some more of my plans, my master plan of trying to win this game. And we were not attacked, but we do want to heal you for a turn. Okay, now we have to move here, and if there is a warrior here, we're screwed if there's a barbarian brute, but we have to take that chance. There is none, so we're probably free, and this warrior will explore some more to our west and then come back for defense. So it's a good start. We're definitely going to build our third city over here at the coast, so we can also start benefiting from trade routes, and build a scout ship so we can go around. And yeah, that's going to be what we'll do in our next episode. And we're also going to try and clean out these barbarians because we do want a city here. I mean, it's cutting off the Dutch from the north, so it gives us basically our nation. So I hope to see you next time, and yeah, have fun playing Civ.